from the side of the Assam government, Shri Kalyan Chakravarti, Principal Secretary, Government of Assam. I welcome all of you. Madam, these are all our accredited media for the Y20 meet. And the format is as follows. You can ask your questions after the opening remarks by all the three officers present here. And there will be a you can ask your questions in English, Hindi or Assamese. My colleague Barnali Mahanta will translate Assamese questions for the people on the podium. And kindly please put your cell phones on silent. And also I'd like to tell you, ma'am, that PIB in association with the Education Department of Government of Assam has trained around 50 students across Assam on reporting and documentation and mobile photography. Around 12,000 students have participated in over 150 pre-events, and also they have documented the events which have taken place in all the districts. And out of the 50 students trained, we'd like to specially mention 9 outstanding students, namely Payal Devnath, Diksha Sharma, Kirot Kalita and Shri Pratik, Devanand Das, Kamal Nayan Medi, Mohammad Aminur Hussain, Pasis Ahmed and Ayushman Puran. So these have done really outstandingly well, ma'am. Ma'am, your opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Narayanan. A very warm welcome to everyone for today's press briefing. It is wonderful to see you all today. Friends, from today we have the first Inception meeting of the Youth 20 engagement group. As you know, during India's presidency of G20, there are several engagement groups, and Youth 20 is one of these. During this year, in the coming few months, the Youth 20 group hopes to extend consultations pan-India in order to consult the youth of the nation on what their vision is for a better society, for a better tomorrow. So we will be holding 17 meetings in the next few months. There is a folder given to all of you in which the calendar of events is given. When we talk about Youth 20 consultations, we mean it very, very literally. We hope to reach out and consult youth across different categories, whether they are students in the college or in schools, whether they are professionals working in some industry, whether they are farmers. All of them would be consulted through these stakeholder meetings, which are going to be hosted by a large number of academic institutions. Now, there are 5 themes that have been identified for these engagements. These themes you will also find in the folder that is shared with you. Each and every one of those themes is very relevant, both for youth in India and I think for youth in the world. So we have future of work, industry 4.0, innovation and 21st century skills. We have seen in the background of the COVID pandemic how important technology has been for tiding us through the pandemic. So now this is one of the very important issues before us, how to skill, reskill and continue to skill and reskill those who are employed so that their employability improves. Then there is climate change and disaster risk reduction, making sustainability a way of life. One very important theme, peace building and reconciliation, ushering in an era of no war. There's shared future, youth in democracy and governance, and there's health, well-being and sports, and agenda for youth. Friends, each and every one of these themes resonates, I think, with people in different parts of the country, and each region has their own vision on these themes. That is the reason for spreading out the consultations across the country. So the structure of this 3-day meeting is given in the itinerary, which is also in the folder. In the afternoon today, we will be having an ice-breaking session with the international delegates, and at the Penang Jetty, my colleague Kalyan Chakravarti ji will brief you a little about that. Then tomorrow we have panel discussions throughout the day at IIT Guwahati. Our colleague Director IIT Guwahati is here to tell you about that. And on the 8th, finally, we have the launch of the white papers that have been prepared on each of these themes, and there is an interaction with the Honorable Union Affairs Minister Anurag Singh Thakurji, the Chief Minister of Assam, and other dignitaries. Anurag Singh Thakurji has been part and parcel in guiding us all for all these discussions. And in fact, when you look at each of these themes which are structured into the discussion, each one brings a different kind of insight. So we have a very important panel discussion tomorrow, the first actually. This is on peace building and reconciliation, ushering in an era of no war. Given the kind of conditions that are there in the world, this theme is all the more important, and through these consultations we hope to look at what is the India model, how can India contribute or provide insights about its models to the world community. Now we have a history of insurgencies in the Northeast, so I think this is a theme that is very relevant for the people of Assam and for the people of all the northeastern states. We will have a very eminent panel to discuss it. There will be people who have retired from the army, the DGP police will be there, and we will have people from civil society also. So the Youth 20 panel discussions are open to everyone, and it is my earnest request that all of you participate, listen to the discussions, and see how we can brainstorm on ideas for a better tomorrow, India for the world. And now I go to my colleague Kalyan Chakravarti ji, Principal Secretary to Government of Assam, for his remarks. Kalyan ji.
Thank you, ma'am. First and foremost, on behalf of the Government of Assam, thank you for being here. And I would just like to brief the press about what all activities we have done with regard to Y20. After we had the initial communications with the Government of India, the Education Department and the Skill Department together, we have tried to bring about wholesome involvement and interaction with all the students across the universities and the schools of the state of Assam to participate in the themes that you have mentioned. In all these themes, let me say, ma'am, basically both the Honorable Chief Minister's guidance, Honorable Education Minister and the Honorable Skill Minister, we have been able to mandate about 36 universities, first of all, to participate in seminars, workshops, quizzes, and other innovative activities, including debates and a model Y20 summit. Approximately, not just the 5 themes, but also the sub-themes, numbering more than about 30. We have divided it into sub-themes, and therefore we could organize about 46 seminars, about 24 workshops, about 39 quiz competitions, about 44 debating competitions across the state could be organized, and more than 10,000 students across the state participated in this whole exercise. So the involvement of the youth, as was inspired by our Honorable Chief Minister, has been very wholesome in the state of Assam. Besides that, of course, we also were able to download, translate into our local languages, and give to the schools awareness about what is Y20, because ultimately it's the youth's future, and we wanted that from class 6 onwards up to class 12, about 4,000 schools participated. They understood what is the meaning of Y20, what are these themes essentially about. I also would like to just say a few words about the themes for the media. is that very high quality papers could be produced by the students across the universities in all these 5 themes, which we hope will contribute towards the policy making with regard to the government of India with regard to this Y20. So on peace building, ma'am, we are aware that we have in Assam has probably one of the best models with regard to peace building, and we have hopefully during the course of the interactions we will come across models that we have done to bring about peace here, which could perhaps be adopted across the world. And I think that is one absolutely great contribution that our state can actually contribute for the country and maybe for the whole world. Second is with regard to climate change. Assam is the biodiversity. The northeast is the biodiversity of the country. It has probably one of the richest flora and fauna and biodiversity hotspots of the country. And for us, climate change is therefore extremely important. Climate finance, climate change is extremely important to sustain the northeast and to be an inherent part of its progress. A lot of activities are taking place in Assam from renewable energy and also climate change policies are there, greening policies are there in the state of Assam, which have been encapsulated in the seminars that we have done and the papers that we have produced. Health, well-being and sports is a top priority of the government in terms of health has been a top priority with regard to all the parameters of health, and we are doing something, and we hope to bring our stories as to how in the remotest corners, how we are providing health in the remotest corners of the state. As far as the governance of the youth and how to bring about the youth into governance structures right down to the lowest level has always been the agenda of the government. And finally, the employment potential that has been the #1 priority of the government, to provide not just government employment, which has been announced by the Honorable Chief Minister many a time, also skilling, as you said, ma'am, reskilling, upskilling, and new skilling, because we understand very clearly the dynamics of skilling. What was there today is not there tomorrow. We understand that the future belongs to IT, the future belongs to AI, the future belongs to changing skills, and we have a very, very robust skilling department, and the future of skilling is something that we are very, very keenly restructuring, and therefore we have been able to contribute on all the 5 themes. So the students have been able to contribute to this, and those themes will be discussed during the course of the event, and therefore Assam and the Northeast will contribute very, very significantly to the policies that will be made hopefully by the Government of India, and will be an integral part of the G20 and the Y20. So this is what I had to say, ma'am. Of course, whatever questions there are, we will take the questions as and when they come. Thank you.
So thank you, Kalyanji, for that. Now I think we'll go over to our colleague, Dr. Parmeshwar Iyer, who's Director IIT Guwahati. He would like to tell you a little bit about their take on the Y20 consultation.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yeah, you can hold up your mic.
Hold it up.
Am I audible?
Yes.
So once again, I would like to begin by thanking both Government of India and the Government of Assam for hosting this event at IIT Guwahati. I think it is really a great honor for us to be part of hosting this international event at our campus. Now, as an institute of national importance, it has always been our endeavor to provide high quality education, to conduct world-class research, and also ensure that the excellence that we have at our campus reaches the masses. So this has been our endeavor since our inception in 1994. Always we have been trying to ensure that in addition to the research, top quality research, and the knowledge that we generate, even the local problems that are prevalent around us are also addressed in a timely manner. We have been very fortunate once again to interact very closely with the government of Assam, and right from almost a month, we have been planning, very minutely on how to conduct this event, such that the students of Assam, the youth of Assam, they benefit maximum from this event. And definitely our aim is to promote the brand Assam, not only the region but across the world, to the delegates who are coming for this event. Now you all are aware that NEP 2020 was launched a few years ago, and one of the themes in this NEP 2020 is the multidisciplinary approach that the education institutes have to take. And that involves a lot of things. I'm not going to the details of everything, but relevant to this Y20 event, I would like to highlight one thing, one very important thing. In fact, one of the themes that you will see on all the posters that are spread across the city is one earth, one future and one family. So basically, what does that tell? That means that we have to have a sustainable approach for whatever we do. Okay, so basically the entire earth, the entire world is one family. If we don't consume the resources that are available to us in a very judicious manner, in a very careful manner, we won't have anything left for our future generations. And as my colleagues already mentioned, that about the 5 themes, one of the very important area that definitely we are focusing on, being in the biodiversity hotspot in the northeast region, is to utilize the resources that is available with us, the biomass. So, in addition to this 5 theme-based discussion that is likely to happen at IIT Guwahati, we also have an opportunity to showcase the innovators, the startups, what all has happened not only in IIT Guwahati, but also other startup incubation centers in this region. And we are having close to 35 to 40 stalls where the students and innovators will be showing their products developed in this region to the world. Another unique thing that we are showing off to the delegates and all the participants is an energy pavilion. And this energy pavilion is a very, very unique concept where all the hydrocarbon-based industries that are there in this region, they are slowly moving away from this hydrocarbon-based, fossil fuel-based energy towards a greener form of energy, and that is utilizing again these biomasses to generate or to extract alcohol. So bioethanol, biobutanol, and methanol are some of the alcohol that can be obtained from these bioresources before we use it for any other purpose. And that is one of the big focus that we are going to showcase to the world, how the technology is developed in-house at IIT Guwahati and in collaboration with this hydrocarbon-based industries, how it can transform or help in one of the themes, the climate change and a sustainable way of using energy. I move on. Actually, we also have other areas where a lot of interest has been generated across the world. That is on generating this green hydrogen. Now, this is a very, very big initiative, not only in India but across the world. So, this is another theme where we will be focusing. The technology is developed in-house, and where we have reached, we are at the stage of even transferring the technologies to at least 2 giant industries in the nation, and that is also another very important thing that we are going to show off to the delegates, and how this can be taken up in a big way. Moving forward, we are definitely going to discuss on the methane emission related problems. That's another greenhouse gas, though it's considered to be second after the carbon dioxide. The greenhouse emission, controlling the greenhouse emission is very, very important. Methane definitely is, though it's considered to be the second gas after carbon dioxide, the amount of heat that it generates and it destroys the ozone layer, that's quite high. So we are also going to discuss about how that's going to help us in a big way. One of the major missions of the government of India is about the semiconductor fabrication. We are definitely going to show to the delegates how the semiconductor fabrication facility developed at IIT Guwahati is contributing to another renewable form of energy, that is the perovskite-based solar cell. Okay, so we have the silicon-based solar cell presently being used extensively across the nation and the world. How we can replace that with a very efficient and a friendly way of converting the solar cell energy into electricity. So that is something that our region and the nation can take up in a big way, and definitely it's a great model for the world also to replicate that. And one of the very important aspects that we are working very closely with the government of Assam again on the healthcare sector is setting up a multi-speciality hospital for postgraduate admission initially, but also to conduct high-end research in various cutting-edge topics of healthcare. I'll just give one example of cancer care and definitely other neurological disorders. So these are some of the very, very important topics or very, very important experimental-based industries and startups that have come up in IIT Guwahati through our students and other innovators, which I think will provide a very nice opening and interaction with the delegates who are going to be present here. And definitely, in addition to all these things, the delegates who are likely to stay on our campus are likely to witness the beautiful campus, because we are conducting special sessions on yoga as well as on bird watching on 2 different days that they are going to stay on the campus. And we, as my colleagues Kalyanji mentioned, that we are going to have a very big interaction session with the students, at least 400 students from various colleges across the state, from 34 districts, selected from various districts. They will be interacting with the delegates, with the students of IIT Guwahati, and all the panelists who will be coming, very notable panelists who will be coming from across the nation. And definitely, a lot of important solutions, important discussions on how our region has been growing democratically to provide solutions to multiple problems. And I hope that this will be an eye-opener, how we can grow in a peaceful manner, in a democratic manner, and be a solution provider to the nation, not just by any other means, but also by knowledge and by skill. Thank you very much. I invite you all to IIT Guwahati for the interactions tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you for those opening remarks.
We'll take the first round of questions before the Minister.
Yeah, the Minister, Honorable MOS will be reaching here soon, but we have time to reply to a few questions. And as our Secretary Madam said, all these sessions of the Inception meeting day after tomorrow are open to the press, so you can come there. And I request all of you to ask your questions, identify yourselves and your organization. Thank you. The floor is open.
Yeah. Yes, please. Just identify yourself. Is there a mic? Please provide. Yeah.
I'm Vishal Wilson from DD News Delhi. My question is, how many youths from the foreign countries would be participating, and are there any youth from beyond the G20 countries?
This is a forum for the youth of the G20 countries. I mean, that is the definition of the forum. So we have 20 international students and delegates who are coming.
No, sir,
how many is the total delegates, including those from India?
It's about 300.
Out of them, only 20 are from abroad.
Yes, but that is the structure that each of one of the countries, we will be having 17 meetings, and each country is invited to send their delegates or representatives to all the meetings.
This is Kamal Bora from DD News again. Sir, my question is to Arya, sir. You talk about the energy pavilion. Is it a permanent setup there, or it is just being done only for this?
No, this is specifically being set up for this event.
Any more questions? Yeah, please give a mic over. Last one.
I'm Rahul from G+. Out of 300 students, how many students from Assam?
Yes. No, I think around 200, it's about 200 students are there from Assam, and in fact many of them have been selected via the various seminars that were held, which my colleague Kalyan Chakrabarti ji told you about. Then we have some delegates from other regions in the country also, but the large majority is students from Assam.
I have one more question regarding the papers which the Chief Minister of the state will present. So what papers exactly are? Can you throw some light on the papers?
So, as I said that for all the 5 themes, all these themes are essentially about the future of the youth in terms of what is the future employment and what is the future. So on these 5 themes, as I said, there have been detailed seminars, debates, etc. And they have presented papers. We have collated those papers, and it is the voice of the youth. And these papers ultimately are the ones we hope will also be part of the overall presentation of the Government of India in the G20. Ultimately, as the Government of India desired, that rather than being a top-down approach where we decide rather than the youth, it is now a bottom-up approach where the youth have voiced as to what they want, what are their perceptions about what is changing, and that is what we are going to communicate to the
Can you reveal the name of the researcher?
Yes, there has been an elaborate exercise done where we have taken from all the universities. Then we have had our own technical board and our own editorial board. We have looked into that. So that's an elaborate exercise which we have done, which I can share with you individually. Yeah.
Yes, is a question.
Hello, this is Kriti from PTI. Along with the research paper, I guess there will be one white paper also will release on that particular day. So, can you just give us an idea that what will be the white paper on? And is it a draft paper that will be delivered during the 17 meetings, or it is a final white paper?
Thank you for that question. Yes, it is definitely a draft paper. The focus of all these papers is the 5 themes in the concept note that has been shared with you. The objective of all these 16-17 meetings that we talked about is to debate different aspects and views that would be presented in the course of the discussions. These meetings are essentially forums for sharing of experiences. We have international delegates. They bring their country's experiences to the table. They articulate that. We will articulate different points of view, and hopefully when we share these concerns, which our experiences, all of these are mutual concerns, we can then come to some common understanding, which is what will be presented in the final draft, which is going to be in the final summit, that is Varanasi in August of 2023.
That means this white paper will be on these 5 themes that have been articulated.
That is right, you are correct.
Thank you.
And we will have different versions, so please feel free. There will be an open invitation to those who participate in these meetings to articulate their views and let us know. It's in every sense a consultation.
So can we call it a Guwahati declaration?
See, the thing is ki all these are run-ups to the main event. So yes, the whatever vision Assam has, Assam is free to articulate it. All of it feeds into the larger vision, which is not a region specific or even a country specific vision. What we are looking here is to build a global vision. So for instance, peace building and reconciliation, India has developed and articulated certain models of conflict reconciliation, which Indians will voice over here, which we share with other countries, and we come together to some consensus on strategies for greater building peace in the world. That is the kind of process.
Will these 5 research papers be included in the white paper, or their themes?
Like I told you, that is a matter of discussion, because everyone will see when you have one version of a paper, then some thoughts inevitably will go into the final one. We don't know, we cannot know as of now what are the views that will be articulated in subsequent discussions. So we have different versions, and hopefully towards the end, through discussion, which I believe is one of the strengths of Indian democracy, we arrive at some kind of consensus which is presented at the final summit.
And just wanted to have a clarification. These 5 research papers, these will have predominantly the Assam's view on the 5 topics, and the white paper will be the generic Y20 agenda, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, we are expressing the concerns of our region, but also we have taken into account what is the our contribution to the global context. Ultimately, it will add on to the overall white paper.
It's not necessary to have just one successful model. We can have multiple models, and we believe that it is when we share experiences about multiple models that we can arrive at a better understanding of what works in the end. So that is what we hope to articulate. And as Kalyanji told you, in the model that Assam has followed in the last few days, they have had discussions and seminars in the run-up to the main event. We'll follow a similar protocol in the other discussions also. So in every event there will be seminars and discussions in schools, in colleges, in professional associations, in different youth forums.
Any more questions?
For the panel on insurgency, there are former 2 rebel ex-rebels who will participate. So can you throw some light on that? Are they going to present any papers or how?
Come tomorrow to hear the panel. That would be our response. Come tomorrow to hear it. And they, उनकी जुबानी ही सुनिए ना, आप वो क्या कहना चाहते हैं जी? हाँ.
Friends, if there are no more questions.
The minister will be Minister of State, Mr. Nishit Pramanik ji will be joining us in a couple of minutes.
No, ma'am, he's coming after lunch, so they can go for lunch. That's the message we just got now.
Okay, okay.
So if people can go for lunch, minister will be coming after lunch and you'll be giving bites to all of you. So
What time to?
I just been told that he'll be joining after lunch.
Okay.
Media can take bites after the lunch.
So let us say 40-45 minutes
Yeah,
for.
probably.
Yeah, so that's fine. Works for all of you. So please join us.